3 episodes ago, a bet was made. Arsenal lost the Carabao Cup final 2-0 to Man City. The fans voted. Gloria pays up. Tonight, it finally happens. But first, Arsenal lost to Bournemouth at the Emirates. Man City won 3-0 at Chelsea. The title race is wide open. And the Champions League quarterfinals have delivered drama across the board. This is Disputed episode 4, and somebody is wearing a cap tonight. Gloria, the moment has arrived. Our fans voted 3 episodes ago. The majority said Gloria pays up. Gloria, put the Man City cap on, live on camera right now.
Painful. I want it on record though. I still have trust in my boys to pull through and win the Premier League. With all the work that they've done throughout the season, I still expect that they would have that last push to take them over the line, even if it means crawling over the line. Well, this is a cup, the City Cup. This actually represents nothing other than a very unfortunate 90 minutes at Wembley. And this cap comes off the moment this episode ends. And this should be the last I hear of this. I'm only doing this because a bet is a bet. And I'm a woman of my word. So here goes.
Gloria in a Man City cap, everybody. Subscribe so you never miss a moment like this on Disputed. Now, while you're wearing that cap, let's talk about what happened to Arsenal this past weekend. Arsenal at home against Bournemouth lost 2-1. Third domestic defeat consecutively. You guys lost to City in the Carabao Cup, FA Cup exit to Southampton, now Bournemouth at the Emirates. You had a 9-point lead on top of the table. City went to Chelsea, they won 3-0. The gap is now 6 points. Next Sunday, Arsenal travel to the Etihad. Tell me right now, is Arsenal's title dream falling apart?
You can obviously not say that. How can a title charge just dissipate like that? With all the hard work the boys have put in, there's still some life in the dead horse. So we can't write them off. One thing I can say though is that the chicken has finally come home to roost. The fans have been complaining for the whole season, I included, that I haven't really watched, exciting, attacking football. But I know that we have a lot of players capable of actually delivering. We've done that a lot in the Champions League. Why it never translates to the Premier League is the biggest misconception that I would never be able to unravel. And I think that goes down to the manager. Arteta, I believe, got stung about 2 seasons or so ago after City beat Arsenal 4-1 at the Etihad. Since then, it just shifted gears. It changed from the attacking football that we saw the team play about 2 seasons ago, and it went into this ultra defensive mode, which has kind of limited our players. And now it just seems like the players don't even know how to play, football anymore. It's almost like every attacking verve that they have been stripped of them. We've got skillful players. We have the Azes, we have the Diamond, we have the Bukayo. Every last player for Arsenal has been affected one way or the other because we've just reverted to this funny attacking, pass back, sideways passes and everything. And I think that was what Bournemouth actually fed off of. Because the thing is, if Arsenal scores you first, there's a chance that you win. Arsenal wins the game. So now it just seems to be. I think the players are lethargic. They're tired, and this is all down to Arteta just trusting an 11, almost the 11 that I picked from beginning of the season. He never rotated. So now you can see fatigue. You can see players like Declan Rice. Zubimendi is the main culprit here because he was never rotated. And remember with Zubimendi, he's not used to, one, the physicality of the Premier League, and two, he has never played this many games. Usually back in Spain in January, you get 2 weeks off, during the Christmas period. He never got any breaks. And Arteta did not even, he didn't deem it fit to give him some time off just so that, to get him into the rhythm of the league. What is really affecting us now is the fact that there are a lot of fatigued players or players carrying some form of injury playing on the pitch. If you look at other teams who maybe have not played as many games as Arsenal has played, you see that they are fresher. Case in point, Bournemouth that played us on Saturday, they had about 3 weeks off. 3 weeks. So you can imagine they were more fresh, they were quicker to the ball, they were pressing us, and we could not even do anything with their press because we were tired. The mind was willing, but the body couldn't. And with that, that's a recipe for disaster. And that was exactly what happened. Bournemouth at the Emirates, you would have chalked that down as a win. But when you've played the number of games that those players have played, I'm not making excuses here because we had the strength in depth that could have helped mitigate what is currently happening to us. But Arteta has depended on just a few players whilst leaving so many other players on the bench. If he had rotated early on in the season, then players would have been fresh to actually kick on in this April when we know that the season is actually defined. Season is not defined in August. It's not defined in November. It's actually, this is the season, the title running, which we've, for whatever reason, invited City back into. That is why we're having all these issues. Because City, obviously, they're out of the Champions League, so they don't have midweek games like Arsenal does. We were actually chasing 4 titles with the same amount of energy. I wish we had maybe just allowed the youth players play in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup and just focused on the Premier League. In that case, giving rest to the first team players and rotating players as much as possible. During the summer, we thought we had, actually fixed, the strength that we needed. But did we really spend money wisely? We bought a Madueke, which, in my opinion, we did not need. All we needed was a problem left wing position. Instead, we spent money in an area we already have abundance of talent in. Max Diamond, Ethan Waneri, they could easily have fulfilled that position. Instead, we went and wasted that money. And the left wing is still a problem position for us now because Trossard and Martinelli have not been able to fulfill their own part in this league title, in the title race. Martinelli has done his damage in the Champions League. Whenever he comes back to the Premier League, it's a different player. So for me, it's so many things happening, and I think I can tell you that the players have their fault, but I put all this at the feet of Mikel Arteta. He has not managed the occasion well, and when his plan A doesn't work, he doesn't seem to have a plan B. Because even when he makes substitutions, he doesn't make substitutions that comes with tactics. He actually changes like for like. So how are things supposed to work? On Saturday, he made three substitutions at the same time. I would not have done that. I probably would have just done maybe one or two substitutes at the same time, because what happened was when the substitute came, he just disorganized everybody. And the main player that he should have taken out first, he actually took him out almost last, which was Zubimendi, because you can see he was actually, you can see physically and mentally that he's gone. Even his teammates were consoling him when the second goal went in, because it was all his fault. But would I really say it was his fault? Because the manager was watching, as I was watching. I kept saying Zubimendi needs to be taken out of this game. When he played the whole first half, I was like, Zubimendi definitely shouldn't come out for the second half. But he came back out, and he was taken off. If you're going to take him off, why didn't you just do it at halftime, giving the players a renewed energy to come out and start the second half with everybody knowing what they needed to do? But he waited until the second goal went in before he took Zubimendi off. At this point now, you've actually just shattered the guy's confidence. And two, how are you going to get him back to playing as well as he should have, or as well as he could? Remember, at the beginning of the season, we were all saying that Zubimendi was actually a player of the season up until he made a mistake against Manchester United, which I can actually put down to fatigue and mental, just mental fatigue, most likely. So, in my opinion, in hindsight, Arteta really, has a problem that he only is the only one that can fix. Why on earth will you send Ethan Waneri on loan when he can actually fulfill so many positional? You can use him for so many positions. Eze has been injured. Ethan can play that role. Odegaard has been out most of the season. Ethan can play that role. Bukayo has been out. Ethan can play that role. So you actually just yanked out the one option that can fulfill about 3 roles in that team. And it's just sitting there in Marseille, not being used. So in my opinion, I think that when you do a thing like that, not trusting your academy players, when you look at Man City, O'Reilly is actually the one carrying them right now. He's an academy player. He's actually is very ingrained in in what goes on in that team, which is the same thing that someone like Miles Skelly, Ethan Waneri, Max Dama, Bukayo Saka, all these players that came out from the academy, they are much more like tied to what happens for the team. So for me, you yank that off. Ethan and Skelly would have been doing exactly what O'Reilly is doing right now in City. The players are fatigued. You can see that they are lethargic, and with that, their play is as kind of the slow pace. We play at a slow pace, and it's stifling our our attackers, really our own players, and the opposition, they pounce on that. And so for me, I don't understand why our defense, if you look throughout the season, our defense have been our MVP. Our attackers, they've actually not been they've not been around at all throughout the season. I really don't understand why Arteta cannot coach an attack. I don't understand.
Okay. I know you kind of went through a lot, but I understand as a fan, you have your opinion and your thoughts on what it will happen. But let's look at your striker, Gyökeres. He scored a goal. Do you think what he's doing is enough, or do you think it's a little too late this season?
The thing is, obviously, Gyökeres, at the beginning of the season, people were talking about how, he wasn't living up to maybe the money we paid for him, which compared to other strikers, really, we didn't pay as much as other people paid, but at least we paid a significant amount of money for him. But he actually didn't have preseason to start with. You can tell that he's not getting to the rhythm of things. And I tell you, if Gyökeres is served right, Gyökeres could be the difference between Arsenal winning something or nothing this year. He has really tried with the little service that he's been getting. His goal contribution, really, if you look at it compared to the service that he gets, he has tried. And, we are not playing, Arsenal is not playing to his strength, which is, playing the balls into the channels and he will run onto them. But we don't do that. We are lumping the ball to him. And sometimes when we lump the ball to him, and if he backs into the defenders, the second balls, there are never people around to win the second balls off of him. So I don't even understand why sometimes we lump the ball when we can actually play the ball into the channel. We saw how he played in Lisbon. Why we can't copy that and make him as effective as he can be, I really don't know. If Arsenal works for Gyökeres as much as City works for Haaland, then the return from Gyökeres would have been a whole lot better. So I think he can still do a lot. It's not a little too late. It can still make a difference, in my opinion.
Let's switch gears. Let's talk about City. Man City, they were ruthless last weekend. 3 goals in 17 minutes in the second half at Stamford Bridge. O'Reilly, Gay, Doku. Chelsea were humiliated 3-0. City are now 6 points behind Arsenal with the game in hand. Arsenal travels to the Etihad next Sunday. If City wins that game, they'll be 3 points behind with the game in hand. Is the title going back to the Etihad?
When you talk about Chelsea, obviously they got what they deserved. City played like they should have played against a very inept Chelsea team, and even a more disgraceful fan base in Chelsea. I wish City had beaten them 6-0. The only downside to that is that it would have eaten more into our goal difference. That's the only reason. If we had a bigger goal difference, I would have wanted City to beat Chelsea 6-0. And I hope Chelsea do not make even the Europa League. I hope they go back to Conference League because of what they did. Their fans they were being interviewed and they were like, yeah, we will lay down for City to beat us. And really, City duly obliged. Because that second half, they came, they delivered. Like I said earlier, it was O'Reilly. O'Reilly started the route again. Because after the first half, you would have thought that, okay, maybe Chelsea had something. But once City scored their first goal, they just laid down. They're like, you know what? Our fans are not going to blame us. They already said it's okay for us to lose. So they did. So it was good that they got that loss. Because I don't understand why you would hate Arsenal more than you love your own team. I could never understand that mindset. I could never say, oh, you know what? I want Manchester United. If I'm as an Arsenal fan, I will not say because Chelsea is in a title race, and I don't like Chelsea. I'd rather somebody else beats us or beats me just so that Chelsea does not win. I really don't understand that mindset. And it's not only the Chelsea fan base. Our dear neighbors are exactly the same.
Let's keep going. Okay. Arsenal Man City, Etihad Stadium, the title decided. Drop in the comments who wins that game and who wins the Premier League. We want your predictions right now. Think about your neighbor, Tottenham. Let's talk about that a little bit. We can't ignore Tottenham. Sunderland beat them 1-0. Tottenham are now in the relegation zone. A big six club potentially going down. Could Tottenham actually be relegated from the Premier League? What are your thoughts?
The question you have to ask me is, have you seen the Tottenham players? Are they ready? Are they ready for a relegation battle? Relegation battle is not made for the faint-hearted. You have to be battle ready to fight yourself out of relegation. Look at Leeds today. Everyone was talking about, Leeds were going to be pulled into the relegation battle because, they're going to be playing Man U. So chances are Man U was going to beat them.
Please don't go there.
But look at what happened. Because those players, they know what the championship is like. They don't want to go back there. They've now pulled themselves out of that relegation, 6 points above relegation. Tottenham is not too big to go down because when you are in that area, no one respects you. And you know what? This relegation did not just creep. It did not creep on them. It's been a long time coming. Last season, Tottenham was in this sort of position, but the people that were fighting relegation at that time were just so bad that they were never really dragged into the relegation. I think Tottenham ended up about 16th or 17th. But they are right now in the relegation position. They're 2 points behind West Ham, who are actually fighting harder to not be dragged into that relegation. So for me, their fan base is exactly a carbon copy of the Chelsea fan base. I remember 2 seasons ago when Arsenal was fighting to win the title with City. The season City beat us by just 2 points. Tottenham fans were like, it's okay. It's okay for us. Excuse me. It's okay for us to lose to City. We don't mind not making the Champions League as long as Arsenal does not win the league. Can you imagine that mindset? And that mindset has finally caught up. It didn't even take a long time. Just 2 seasons into saying they didn't mind not getting into the Champions League places. Look at where they are. Because why? When fans say these things, players hear. Players, they go online, they can see what they can actually read what the fans are saying. So they're like, it's okay for us to lose as long as Arsenal does not win. So every game they go into, if it benefits Arsenal one way or the other, they lay down and they lose. And that mentality has dragged them into the relegation places. And the thing is that Tottenham has not won a single game in 2026. We are in April already. They haven't won one single game. I can't even tell you that Tottenham has won up to 4 games in their own home stadium. That is a disaster. 3 managers in, and it's still the same story. They are not too big to be relegated.
Okay, that's fine.
And I don't feel for them. They will feel better. They will feel better in the Champions League, in the Championship, really.
That's fair. I know they're neighbors, so we keep it like that. Fans, let us know what you think. Will Tottenham be relegated or not? We'd like to hear your comments. Let's talk about Champions League. 4 quarterfinal first legs last week. 4 massive stories. Let's get into all of them. Let's talk about Arsenal Sporting. Arsenal, without Saka and Eze, traveled to Lisbon. First half, things were 0-0. Second half, it was 10 that way until Havertz, 91st minute, scores the winner. Now, I want to enjoy it. You're still wearing your cap, so I'm going to try and enjoy this a lot more today. So, still in your cap, how do you feel about Arsenal's Champions League prospects right now?
Not having some of our better players is not ideal. But I believe that the available players, if played in their proper positions, should be able to close this. It's the Champions League. I just need Zubi to sit this one out and possibly sit out Sunday too. Because that guy actually needs rest. So for me, the way the players react in this game, in this particular game in the Champions League, will let me know how prepared they will be for Sunday. Because one way or the other, they will give us a clue of how ready they are for this fight. Because it is now a fight. We should have wrapped the Premier League up all the way back in February when City was messing up. We kind of dragged City back into this race. So I will believe it when I say it. Well, I think even Arteta is more interested in the Champions League. He's more interested in, I don't know, maybe making a name for himself in Europe. So I think the hard part was really done away in Lisbon, because Sporting Lisbon are a better team in their own stadium. So coming to the Emirates, so far Arsenal hasn't lost at the Emirates, so at least in the Champions League. So I believe that they can hang their hats on that and hopefully turn up, because on Saturday, they never came out of the dressing room, in my opinion.
Okay. So Arsenal is trying to reach back-to-back Champions League semi-finals for the first time in their history. Second leg is on Wednesday, April 15th at the Emirates. Arsenal lead 1-0. Do Arsenal go through? I'd like to hear what everyone thinks.
Well, I think Arsenal can't mess things up right now at this point. They've done a very good job, especially in the Champions League. So I think this season in the Champions League, I think they've played their best football so far. So at least they owe it to the fans to show up on Wednesday. So I believe that they have enough. I'm hoping and praying that we see Timber and Saka on Wednesday. At least, if not starting on the bench, it will give a big boost, to the team. I also believe that we missed Martin Odegaard, as bad as he has been throughout the season. We actually felt his absence on Saturday.
Okay. Let's talk about next match. Real Madrid, Bayern, which I call European Classical. Bayern won 2-1 at the Bernabeu. Luis Diaz scored just before halftime. Then, one of my favorite players, Hurricane, coming back from injury, scored 46 seconds into the second half for his 49th goal of the season. Think about that, 49 goals of the season. Well, I hope he repeats the same in the World Cup. That's a different story. Manuel, who turned 40 years old just 2 weeks ago, made save after save to keep Bayern ahead. Bayern won at the Bernabeu for the first time since 2001. Is this Bayern's year in the Champions League?
Well, Bayern is the favorite according to a lot of outlets. But football is a funny little game. Real Madrid may be down, but they are not out. Bayern edges it a little bit for me because of the home advantage, and they did the heavy lifting away at the Bernabeu already. So for me, I think it tilts more towards Bayern winning than Real Madrid. But you never know what can happen.
Yeah, I think we get to that later. And here's the connection. Bayern's Michael Olise, who we tipped for France at the World Cup, was brilliant against Real Madrid. The World Cup storylines are everywhere in the Champions League right now. They are.
Oh yes, oh yes. I love me some Michael Olise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I love that guy. I love him. I wish we could have had him at Arsenal. This seems to be like a coming out party for him. He's such a joy to watch and such a dangerous player for Bayern. When he's up for it, then consider the job done for Bayern, in my opinion.
We see. Real Madrid faced a massive second leg at the Allianz Arena on April 15th. Bayern have won 12 of 13 Champions League ties when winning the first leg away from home. Think about it. 12 of 13 if they win their first leg away from home. Can Real Madrid come back? I want to hear what everyone thinks. Just comment below and let me know what you all think, if you think they can come back. Okay. Let's talk about the next match. PSG Liverpool. PSG Liverpool. PSG absolutely demolished Liverpool. 2-0. There have been 5 or 6. There was a penalty that was denied. First, that wasn't given, which could have made things a bit worse for Liverpool. They had 0 shots on target. 0. Duel scored after 11 minutes. Havertz, Scalia, Georgian forward, added a brilliant goal in the 50th minute. Slot dropped Salah to the bench. I didn't know what he was thinking about. 3 centre backs and still got completely dominated. Liverpool need to score 3 goals at Anfield on Tuesday to go through. Is there any chance of an Anfield miracle?
For me, I think Liverpool were very, very lucky to come out of that game only down two goals. That game could easily have been 6-0. Liverpool must score first to keep the game tight. So, for PSG, they have such a dangerous attack. You never know whose turn it will be on the day. Dembele must have had sleepless nights last week because the number of chances he missed, had he converted them, obviously, I think Liverpool would have maybe they would have had to just field their youth players because it wouldn't have made any sense. But stranger things have happened, especially at Anfield. Liverpool always have a chance at Anfield. They talk about the European nights at Anfield. So maybe this will be one of those Anfield. But there's one thing, there's a difference this time. Slot is their manager, not Klopp.
Remember, Liverpool came back from 3-0 down against Barcelona in 2019 at Anfield. But this Liverpool team has won just 2 of their last 8 games in our competition. Just 2. Is Slot's job under pressure?
Slot. Very much so. The fact that Slot hasn't been sacked by now is still a mystery for me. He probably knows something about the bosses at Liverpool that people don't know. For real, because the debt that Slot has brought Liverpool this season is unprecedented, in my opinion. Like I said earlier, Slot is their manager and not Klopp, because Klopp could generate that type of fighting spirit from his players that I haven't seen Slot, I haven't seen Slot do that since he's been the manager. Last year was just a, he came in, he saw a settled team and he ran with it. And every other person in the league was just, okay, Liverpool won the league and that's it. So he's riding on the coattails of what he did last season. Right now he has most of his players, and look at the mess Liverpool is in. Stranger things have happened though, and I will not say it is over until it is.
Let's talk about the last match. Barcelona, Atletico Madrid. Barca lost 2-0 to Atletico Madrid. Havertz scored. Soloth added second. Cubarsi, 19 years old, was sent off the record. He is now suspended the second leg. Barcelona coach Hansi Flick complained to UEFA about the refereeing afterwards. Barcelona are 2 goals down. Cubarsi is suspended. They are facing a second leg away at Atletico. Barcelona done? What do you think?
It's not over until it's over in this particular case. But it will be very difficult for Barcelona. Because Atletico is going to be very compact. It will help if Barcelona scores early and quickly. Then anything can happen. But without Barcelona high line, there's no way Atletico doesn't score. The longer that game goes without Barcelona scoring, then I guess it'll be a wrap in Atletico's favor.
So let's go to the fun part. Let's talk about the second leg predictions. Okay. So 4 second legs this week, starting on Tuesday, the 14th, on Wednesday, the 15th. Let's make our predictions live on camera right now. No going back. Now I'm going to ask you, Liverpool PSG. So PSG leads 2-0. Liverpool miracle or PSG cruise through? What do you think?
I don't know. Will I say my mind now? My mind says 2-1 to Liverpool on the night. Because PSG is going to score for sure. I see PSG scoring, and that's first leg debacle is it's turned. I think the tie is in PSG's favor, but I see Liverpool winning on the day. But Liverpool winning without conceding, well, I don't know. I think PSG, especially Dembele. I'm sure Dembele is still thinking about all the chances he missed against Liverpool. Even the fullbacks, they missed loads of chances. So I think having a two goal ahead, I think gives PSG some sort of wiggle room to just allow Liverpool feel that they are still in the tie. But I see a sucker punch by PSG, I'm afraid.
So just tell me, what is it?
I think 2-1. Okay. I'm thinking 2-1 to Liverpool.
Okay. Liverpool, they never walk alone. They're gonna be home. I'm gonna go with a comeback here. I'm thinking 4-1 Liverpool on this one. So.
Okay.
Atletico Barcelona. They lead 2-0. Barcelona come back, or Atletico finish the job.
I'll also call this a 2-1 in favor of Barcelona, but I think it'll be a little too late in that tie.
This is a tough one for me. Barcelona is a team I also support. Atletico Madrid is a tough nut to crack. So I'm going to go with a tie. I'm thinking 1-1 or 2-2. I think Atletico goes through. Barcelona is done in this round, in my opinion. Arsenal Sporting, they lead 1-0. What are your thoughts on that one? Arsenal to the semi-finals or Sporting comeback?
I think Arsenal goes to the semi-finals. Arsenal have to respond to the nightmare, the weekend nightmare, really. So Arsenal has to go back to basics, in my opinion. Their tight defense that we've accustomed to their play, and they have to take their chances when they get it. They can't be that bad. Arsenal is not that bad. I see a 2-0 here. If Bukayo is not fit, I'll start Max Dalman. It's just something. Ateta has to start do something different, something new. Let put Martinelli on the left. In the Champions League, he's had a lot of joy. Let him play Champions League. Maybe use somebody else during the weekend. And then Havertz come bring him from the bench. I'll make a bold thing. If I were Arteta, I'll just throw something new. Try MLS in the midfield, which is his natural position. And that can throw the opposition off. And MLS carries the ball. He carries the ball through midfield. And he has a very good passing ability. I don't know why he has not done that. So for me, let's Zubi sit this one out. And I'm looking at like a 2-0 because those players, if they are not angry and come out and win this game, then we have no chance on Sunday. That's just as simple as it is.
This one, I'm going to go with 3-1. I think Arsenal should win this one. It's over. Sporting. Bayern Real Madrid. Bayern lead 2-1. Wednesday, April 15th. Real Madrid miracle at the Allianz Arena or Bayern go through?
This is hard, but I think Bayern goes through. Bayern to the semis. Well, like I keep saying, anything can happen here. You've got Mbappe, you've got Bellingham, you've got all these fine world-class players. Vinicius Junior is still there. I believe that they will show some pride. But the inexperience of their coach, Arbeloa, and the fact that Bayern already did the heavy lifting at, the Bernabeu, they'll be chomping at the bit here. I think Bayern to the semis, in my opinion.
I'm going to go with 2-2 tie in Bayern, and Bayern goes through, in my opinion too. Drop your second leg predictions in the comments right now. And who do you want to see in the Champions League final in Budapest on May 30th? We want everything. So, Gloria?
At the end of the day, the bet is settled. You've gone over and over and over. Now I've settled the bet. I'm a very honest person, but the cap comes off. Arsenal are going to bounce back, in the Premier League title. And on Wednesday, Arsenal goes into the semi-final. We are not done. See you next episode.
She never stops. The bet is settled. Gloria wore the Man City cap on disputed episode 4. Arsenal lost to Bournemouth. Man City are 6 points behind with a game in hand. 4 Champions League second legs this week. And the Premier League title decider. Arsenal versus Man City next Sunday at the Etihad. Subscribe so you don't miss our reaction episode. Drop your predictions in the comments. This is Disputed on SportsTalk Media HQ. See you next time. Bye.
See you.